morning, everyone, and welcome to the show.
Welcome to the show.
Welcome to the news. We're excited to be bringing you news, but before we bring you the news, of course, we need to bring you the weather.
Exactly.
You ready to go?
Yes.
And let's get right to it. What is the weather currently like here in sunny Clearwater, Florida?
Right now it's at 73.
I know, right?
Yes, and the high is gonna be 81.
Tomorrow it's supposed to be like 67.
Oh man, that's not good.
No, that's wonderful.
No, I'm gonna get sick.
Dude.
Yeah.
You're sick all the time. Like yeah, as Aaron says, it's like, you're sick again?
Yeah, no,
I think it should be, you're better again. But that's
are you okay?
You know, that's the joy of...
Yeah, of course.
You know, Fang of Truth, I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. That's my homework assignment for tonight.
Bad Batch?
That's the Clone Wars cartoon. But we got news as expected. I wonder what the rest of the world is like.
Right now?
Where are the car stereo? I've been thinking, where are the car stereo clips? They're sitting right here on Fernando's laptop. If you'll notice, these right here on the side are where all the current clips are.
Yeah.
We've just been so busy these last couple months, last month.
It's funny because when you say it like constantly, like, oh, we've been busy. It's
When
like,
have we not been busy?
No, I know, but like, people think like, you guys don't do this.
Well, okay,
It's crazy, man. It's crazy.
To sidetrack off of the news for just a second, basically what it comes down to is prioritizing what you want to get done. So, for example, if you notice behind me, we have the AAMP dyno, and you'll notice the radio on top of it, and the power supply's over there. So yesterday was the first day since we've got it that we were actually able to test an amplifier, which is sitting on top of it as well. We tested 2 amplifiers yesterday. We didn't film it. We just took pictures, but it was like the first time we've had an hour to just look at this cool thing that I spent a bunch of money on to see how it works. So sometimes you have to weigh this versus that, and unfortunately this Car Stereo Clips channel has not been getting the love that it needs, but it will. It's just a matter of getting everything back into the swing of things.
And it's not like it's nothing in there, you know, like every Friday we have this.
Well, not only that, but there's still like 100 videos up there to go through, so it's not like, damn, there's no...
Yeah, but it's going back.
Well, there'll always be more.
Yeah.
I just need to take the 5 minutes to get them off your computer. And with that being said, let's jump into the news. Today, we learned, or yesterday, or earlier this week, we learned about this. Sony, for those of you that don't know, they are a car stereo manufacturer as well as a movie manufacturer, home audio manufacturer. They do really neat stuff, but one of the things that they did years ago was have the Mobile ES line. And it was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Now, we knew that they were coming out with this a while back. They had hinted to us like, hey, we're gonna do some stuff that's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah.
You guys want to be on board? And we're like, of course we want to be on board. We will help you any way we can. This is not part of that. However, this week they did release the first products of the Mobile ES line. Unfortunately, because of COVID and productions and things falling in the water and buildings burning to the ground and snowstorms locking up all this stuff and a drought where we need water and all this, the world basically going, screw you, electronics. We weren't able to release the whole, they weren't able to release the whole line, so what we're getting first is speakers with what's promised to be a pretty extensive backlog of products, so a ton of new stuff. But let's talk about what we have today. First up is, of course, a pair of 6.5-inch components. Now, Sony has done an exceptional job on this website to go through and explain everything that there is you could possibly want to know about the construction of these new speakers. They have done, we could spend the whole show just going through and talking about the technology and all the things that they've done. Fortunately, we don't have to, because if you're interested, it's easy enough to find it on the website. I will also put links in the show notes once this is over. Now, the speakers that we have to look forward to, of course, the 6.5-inch separates, which you would assume would be the case, as well as a set of 6.5-inch coaxials to match. They're also doing a 6x8. Now, some of these sizes you might be going, wait, why? Keep in mind, this is just, we have, we're developing the line. I feel when you're dealing with a Japanese company, things like 6x9 components, 5x7 components, and things like that, those are actually pretty hard to get out of them. Alpine has been the exception to that, and Pioneer has started to follow suit. But somebody like Sony that is just putting a new amount of money into something like the ES line to bring back, and I think they're kind of baby stepping in as far as the things that we really are going to want. There is a subwoofer, and there, of course, along with the 6x8, is a 6x9 coaxial as well. So the line consists of a 6.5, 5x7, 6x9 coaxial, a set of 6x9 separates, and then a 10-inch subwoofer at the moment. As if you scroll down, there again, they do just an amazing job describing all the features and attributes of this particular subwoofer. So if you're interested in having a flashback, I'm going to do a cutaway. As of, if you were an ES fan in the past, I'm sure you'll be pleasantly like, oh man, this is awesome.
Yeah.
So check them out. Head over to their website. There'll be links in the show notes. But I'm excited to see a manufacturer such as Sony that has had a legacy of, we all remember the Explode stuff if you're old enough. And yeah, we get it. I mean, it was, but for the time, there was a ton of people that used Explode stuff. And then we have the GS that's currently available, and now we'll get the Mobile ES. The Mobile ES was all their flagship stuff, and they had some pretty incredible products in the ES line. I was not a dealer for that back then.
Okay.
So we never really got to dabble into that. The owner of my store at the time, and Sony, he was just like, it's like whatever. So
yeah,
and I was young and influenceable, so I was like, I felt the same way. We know now that Sony makes a very awesome product, and I'm excited to see.
Yeah. As
we all know, the electronics are where we want to be. Like we want to see what electronics they're going to come out with.
Yes.
Because we know that, dude, they got all the money.
and to be honest, I like the design. The design is really nice.
Yeah.
It has a groove and the surround.
Yeah. Let me go back to that speaker. So
it's really nice. It's biampable.
Yes, that was the other thing I wanted to point out is that every speaker was biampable. I like the air structure.
The 5-beam frame that they have, that's pretty cool. Yeah.
Yeah, so which there again you can see
high res, baby.
I thought it was funny, which I don't know if you could see it in the video, is the inside of the tweeter is actually yellow.
Yeah.
And yes, it is high res, so the tweeters are designed to play up to 40,000 hertz.
40 to 40.
Yep. 40 to 40.
Yeah, it's 40.
It's a little,
40 to 40,000.
You want to play a little bit lower than 40,000 hertz. You want to go down to like 5. That's kind of where you're at. But yeah, it is all high-res compatible as expected because it is a Japanese brand, so and high-res is bead, that is a Japanese thing. Not that it matters, but yeah. So
no, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah, I'm excited. I feel that there's not a lot of companies doing like a full line release. And it would have been amazing had the world been a better place where we could have seen every single thing that they came out with. But knowing that at least there's a whole line of products that we have yet to discover is kind of exciting.
It is because okay, now we have this. What's coming? Like right away, you're thinking about
are they gonna go crazy
amplifiers and
just like so radios. We know Sony's a radio manufacturer. Are we gonna get a Sony radio that has a really deep EQ? Not the current iteration of the radios. I got kind of scared when last week we talked about the new Sony radios that they came out with because I was like, this is kind of more of the same. I thought because we didn't know what they were coming out with. We were just in the dark. We just knew they were coming out with new stuff. A lot of people in the industry did. But it was like when we saw those, I was kind of like,
yeah, but keep in mind that's more affordable.
But those weren't ES because we didn't know ES was coming out. We just knew that they told us that it was like, dude, we got some incredible stuff coming out. And when those came out, I was like, this ain't incredible. like your definition, my definition of incredible might leave something to interpretation.
And they say, hold my beer.
Yeah, hold my beer. We got some better stuff. So, and one of the things in the, which I believe they put it up on the Sony Facebook page. Sony or
no, I watch it on the Mobile Electronics MEA.
Oh,
so that was on the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And the one thing they wanted to stress was, look, this isn't the line. There's a whole bunch of stuff coming out.
And they say it's more coming out.
So I feel by fourth quarter, for those of you, which is the last 3 months of the year, in case you're not into that lingo, we'll be seeing some pretty neat stuff. Because we know they can do an awesome DSP. Yeah.
I know.
We know they can. Okay. 4 quarters. I got $1. We know that they can come out with, really awesome electronics, and I'm just excited to see what they come up. I was a really big fan of Sony in the 90s until Explode hit the market. And there again, that was one of those brands. You either loved Explode or you just clowned the crap out of it.
Well, now let me ask you something. Like, for example, we heard the GS speakers.
Yes.
They sound incredible.
They do sound incredible.
They sound really nice. The mid-bass that they put out, it's really good. I'm anxious to see how this one sounds.
Well, I'm sure these sound good because I feel like the GS is some of the best deals in town.
Yeah.
Like, I know we often don't talk about it because it's just kind of like we talk about other brands.
Yeah.
But, the GS, which we carry, is a affordable, really nice, high-end sounding speaker. And it's just that odd duck that it's like it just never really comes. We don't talk about it much, but it's like I know a lot of guys that love it. Yes, the GS9 update. I don't think we'll see an update to the GS9 because I got to be honest with you, that's a perfected piece as it was. Like, there is nothing they can add to the GS9 other than, and I say that and they're going to do it, but I don't, other than a bigger display screen or a double din video version of it, I really don't know what we could add to the GS9 to make it better.
That's gonna be
like, we all want a floating screen GS9. Okay. I mean, but the problem is like that deck is already $1,500.
Yeah.
To put a screen in it, you're looking at a $2,500 deck, which isn't out of the question.
Because
I mean, you're looking at what a 10, like a 1007 or a Kenwood XR is. Which is pretty damn close to that.
Okay, so I was thinking double the price.
So $3,000?
Yes, I was thinking double the price of the GS9 right now. Because now you have to deal with the screen resolution, better components.
Right. So $3,000 double din or floating screen, who's buying that? That's the question you have to ask yourself. So anytime you guys ask for something, you have to think who's actually going to buy it.
Right.
And that is usually the problem. As far as that goes. Hold on.
Well, I don't see the problem. You just like.
And I'd like to give a special shout out right now to CE Outlook. For the stories that we report on, we use CE Outlook as our news aggregator. We're just talking about stuff that somebody else has already gone through and put together for us. So we'd like to thank CE Outlook for that. You can find them at ceoutlook.com. It's a great source of a lot of industry stuff that we don't talk about because no one really needs to know that the COO of Best Buy decided to step down and retire or move on to greener pastures, as well as rep firms that have things that you guys don't know anything about. But if you'd like to know all the back end, all the secrets, all the dirt, as it were, about car audio, check out ceoutlook.com. However, check it out on Saturday so that you can skip over the stories we've already talked about.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for CE Outlook being there and making our lives easier. Back to the news. Okay, speaking of buying something, which is where I was going with this.
Yeah.
That's a story.
That's how it is, huh?
That's a story right there, guys. Yeah. Voxx to buy Onkyo's home audio AV business. Now, here's the funny part. They're already distributing Onkyo as it is. Like, so the story is that Sharp and Voxx, formerly Audio Voxx for those who don't know, they are a huge company. Voxx just bought DEI and all its subsidiaries. I think they bought them all, they just. They bought a ton. They're basically, they own the in-car video business. I don't think there's anyone other than, let's say, like somebody that make, you know, like Pioneer or Alpine or something, that make their own standalone screens that don't even really make those. Voxx owns that. Voxx owns the alarm business. There are other companies out there, but Voxx is slowly but surely buying them up. And now Voxx is looking to get into the home audio side of things. Apparently they're already distributing Onkyo, which Onkyo consists of Onkyo, Pioneer Home, not car. Onkyo took over and bought the controlling aspects to Pioneer Home a couple years ago when Pioneer was falling apart the first time or the second time or possibly the third time. So the two companies, Voxx and Sharp, have signed an agreement to look into putting a deal together to purchase. If the purchase goes through, it will be presented to the shareholders on June 25th. It's looking like it's going to happen, though. I don't think there's any question because Onkyo is in financial collapse at the moment. Yeah. Meaning it's just they're not making any money. So Voxx obviously has an influx of cash that is just going to come in, swoop it up, and add it to their list of things to do. I think it's an interesting move, but I think it's a great move because why not? I mean, Voxx has done a really good job of buying up companies and turning them and just rolling them into the machine that is Voxx and just taking over the world.
Oh, I mean, it seems like, you know, they have a world right there. They wanna keep it like that. So
yeah.
Why not? Yeah.
I mean, they you know, a lot of people think, oh, it's just aftermarket. No, they build a lot of OEM equipment for these manufacturers. So I mean, if, like I said, if there's a screen attached to it, they're involved in it. Yeah. You know, they bought Rosen years ago from AAMP Global, but they own everything, man. Like if you go to their website, just see all the things that they own or bought or have just done away with.
It's like, oh my gosh.
Yeah, it's impressive. But you know, they also distribute Klipsch.
Okay.
So I guess it says prior to Voxx and Onkyo's working together when Onkyo became the distributor of Klipsch premium audio products owned by Voxx. So basically what has happened is Voxx owned Klipsch and was using Onkyo to distribute it.
Awesome.
Because they had pipelines. So now they're just going to buy the pipeline.
That's the easy way.
Honestly, when I saw this, I was just like, wow. Like, that's incredible. Good for them.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, let's be real. That's nuts. And speaking of other manufacturers in the news that have bought things.
A lot of buying today,
AAMP Global announced that it has taken over or bought a company, M2M In Motion. It is not M&M's, it's M2M. It's a fleet management service. Most people won't recognize the change. Years ago, AAMP Global got into the fleet business as far as making GPS tracking systems and whatnot, and this is a company that they were using to do all their monitoring because they're basically buying it for the software. These guys have awesome software to control from something as simple as your teenager to a fleet of trucks the size of Amazon. These guys are scaled and ready to do it, so it was just a natural transition for AAMP Global to step in and take over the company and add it to their fold of things that they can offer. You know, not much to do in our world, but hey, who knows what. Yeah. Because the GPS tracking market has become huge, and because it's become so simple. Like Pioneer got into it, DEI was getting into it before they sold.
A lot of people got into it. Yeah.
You know, insurance companies. When you buy the little thing to stick into your thing, you're using somebody's GPS tracking software that's dialing and following everything you do. Don't think for a minute they're not having the ability to track you. Yeah.
They watching us.
Oh, they're watching everything you do. And speaking of watching everything you do, that takes us into our next story. Oh my gosh, right? Chrysler Jeep adopts Sirius XM crash warning features. those of you guys that have never heard of a service called OnStar, basically the idea is if you get in an accident, your airbag gets deployed.
Yeah.
This software is capable of doing things automatically for you. In the past, it would contact something like OnStar and the operator. We've all seen the commercial where the operator would come on and the poor lady, and they could track the car and tell you where it's at.
Yep.
Apparently, this is built into the
Sirius XM?
Yeah.
Sirius XM subscription. Yeah. You know, it's funny. Last week or the week before, we talked about Sirius XM expanding more their...
Well, they bought Pandora. You know that,
Yes.
right? Yeah.
Yes, they did. But, so, like I say, a week ago or 2 weeks ago, I was like, why? You know, like Sirius XM, who uses Sirius XM? But apparently, everybody uses Sirius XM. Right? All the new cars are come with Sirius XM, and they keep adding Sirius XM. The report says that a lot of people use the Sirius XM. A lot.
So this service is going to cost you anywhere between $14 to $26
a month.
I know it just says service packages from $14 to $26.
I'm gonna say it's a month.
It's got to be a month, and I'm hoping that includes your regular subscription. So I think this is just going to be an add-on subscription to it.
Do you ever have a Sirius XM?
I personally no.
Okay.
Sue had it just because we take her car to travel back and forth.
Right.
But I don't listen to anything on Sirius XM, so it wouldn't be any fun for me.
Right.
And it sounds terrible, so I can't. Yeah. But here's the funny part. Honestly, didn't know Sirius XM was that tapped into the car. Okay, I think that was more the story. Was like, so Sirius XM has the ability to tell when your airbags are deployed.
But why not? Like,
I didn't realize there was an up pipe.
If
Think
you
about
have
it. Sirius XM is a receiver, not a transmitter. So apparently we're wrong. Sirius XM is transmitting.
And the left side is the receiver. The outside is the transmitter.
But there again, these are things that we didn't know were happening. So basically, whatever the current iteration of the product is, not only do they have the ability to track what you're listening to and see what stations you're playing with, but they also are, and Chrysler would make 100% because the Sirius XM tuner is built into the Chrysler radio, which is made by Harman. And we know the data bus is all through there, and we know years ago when the car got hacked, it was hacked through the Harman radio. So I guess we just never assumed that Sirius XM had access to the same ports, and they were able to see like your airbags went off and then take action, like calling 911 for you or asking if you need help. Or so it's called the Guardian Service is what this is going to be called.
Guardian Service.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I think it's great because there's a lot of people now that we all have cell phones in our hands, and we all assume if I get stuck somewhere, I can make a phone call. Okay,
right.
But you know, we sometimes find out that like when the transmission fell out of the Explorer on the side of I-4, who do you call? You know,
Ghostbusters.
If we wouldn't have had AAA, we'd have been standing on the side of the road trying to find a tow truck company to. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's why you see all these cars on the side of the road. Is that they don't know who to call. So. Yes, it does have terrible sound. But I just don't know. Still a GPS device. I don't know. So weird. 100% weird there. This, you know, and this has been okay. This episode, if you could sum it up, it's just all the weird stuff we didn't know that they were doing to our cars. We talk about like Alexas and Dots and all these things in our house listening to us. But the sad thing is that our cars driving on the road, somebody, typically the car manufacturer, is literally watching, has the ability to know everything we do with these new connected cars. Whether it's transmitting out to somebody or if you take it in for service, they know everything. Like in the Mustang, every time I switch it to track mode to drive, I know that somewhere that's logging into something, and if something happens, I go, oh, you're in track mode. That's why. Your traction control was off. That's why it's not our fault.
All right, guys, pay attention to this guy. He just switched it to the sport mode.
Oh, no doubt. And speaking of Ford and inside things, Ford's new infotainment screen tie-in. Apparently the air compressor's on.
All right. Wow, that's a new.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, we don't use it all that often. All right, so what's the story here? Two things about this story I found interesting. one, I think this is a really cool feature, and what it is that right there on the screen of the radio is a scale. They have the ability to tell you now, which is an app you can download to the radio, which is cool, to tell you how much weight you've put in the bed of the truck. So the bed of the truck has now become a scale, and it knows you have something in it because of the third brake light cam. So they know there's something in it. So you can now hit a button on the screen. It'll tell you how much weight you have, and of course there's colors to tell you green, green, green. I thought it was your wire ruler. I know, right? And when you're overloading the bed of the truck, and there again, I feel this is something that got put into the truck because they know that everyone overloads the truck. And if there's an accident, the first thing they do is they blame the truck manufacturer, when in reality, you're at blame. So I think this scale was probably put into the truck. And this is, by the way, why these trucks cost $50,000 or more, $70,000, some of them.
Yeah.
So I think this is something that Ford has put in the vehicle to cover their ass.
Okay.
And they're just like saying, hey, since we got it, why don't we do this with it? Maybe that will prevent, instead of hiding the feature and just dropping a lawsuit and saying, no, you can't sue us because you overloaded your bed, and we know you did because we just plugged in the OBD2 and we could tell you how much weight you exactly had in the back of your truck.
Right.
And go, you know what, why don't we play it smart? We're going to do this regardless of whether you pay for the app or not, but here's what we're looking at. So if you have, 1,000 pounds over or 250 pounds over what this truck is capable of doing.
Your warranty's over.
and your wheel blows out and your truck spins sideways and you take out the guardrail and you try to sue us. Well, guess what? We know, and we both know that you are overweight. So unless you pour gas on that car and burn it to the ground and kill our black box, you're pretty much liable.
I don't know what you're talking about. It was like, I didn't put nothing.
Yeah, it wasn't me, bro.
It wasn't me, man.
It wasn't me. I didn't put all that extra weight in there.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So there again, we all complain about this tracking us and following us and looking to see what we do, when in reality, dude, there isn't anything in our lives. Mm-hmm. It's something as simple as the joyful ride home.
Yeah.
We know that they're watching us. They know how fast we're going. They know where we're going. They know what. I mean, it's ridiculous, guys. It is 100% ridiculous. There is no privacy anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what you're thinking. I don't care how many times you sue these people. It is not going to matter.
No, I mean, and like you say, they already have it. It's in the system. They just
RBH,
activate
the
it.
first thing to fly out of your. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It is.
Now, mine's sitting on the front seat because I have CarPlay. So I always thought, like, when John got in the accident and his phone went flying out of the car, I often think that, because I just leave it I don't put it in the glove box, I probably should, but I just leave it in the seat next to my backpack.
Why in the glove box? Who put the phone
Well,
in
the armrest.
Oh, okay. I'm like...
Sorry, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't have gloves or a box to put them in.
Yeah.
If I did, why would I want to? Did we cover all the stories?
We covered all the stories.
I hit the good ones?
Yeah.
I try to think now, like, which one is Fernando going to yell at me about because I didn't cover?
No.
So I wanted to hit all the Fernando ones. You guys, because we talk about it in the morning when we get here, what stories we're going to cover, and he'll always go, "Why aren't we talking about that one?" I'll be like, "I thought it was kind of stupid," and he'll be like, "All right, if we have time, we'll get to it in the end."
Oh yeah, it's always like that, but
yeah. So. Yeah. But hey guys, that is the news. Mm-hmm. I know, right? It's Friday. Who's excited for it to be Friday? Not this guy. Well, however, a couple things happened last night that you might want to enjoy. One, we had SideJag with Mr. Jeff Smith. It went phenomenally. He has the crappiest internet service in the world.
Okay.
For somebody that has to do like trainings from his house. So there was some glitches on. He kind of looked like Max Headroom, which I showed you that guy.
Okay.
So there was some glitches on his end as far as somebody said there might have been a couple on my end, which is to be expected. Either way, it went a little bit long, so it was like an hour, 10 minutes. But dude, let me tell you what. Not talking about car audio, as we both know, because we're both friends with Jeff. Getting him on to talk about car audio was not about car audio and just about like stuff that we would talk about in the install bay. without a camera on.
So he didn't say something like, the sound of the movie was like
no, dude. It was
crossover.
It was awesome. So if you guys are into movies and guys that are in car audio talking about anything other than car audio, make sure you check out Side Jag here on YouTube. Last night was our second episode. Next week we are watching Tenet. And our co-host or our guest for the day will be Mr. Robert Hi-Fi Vega's son.
Ooh,
so we'll get to see his son. So I'm pretty excited about that. Keeping it all in the family.
Nice.
Don't worry, every week we're gonna have a guest. I've been reaching out to everybody I know, telling everyone. So 52 weeks in a year, man. So people are going to be on twice. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
But Hi-Fi Vegas' son, Tenet is going to be the movie. I'm, of course, and so we've decided we're going to let the guest pick the next movie. We have a list of movies, and so Jeff picks Tenet.
I like it.
For us to watch. I, of course, was banging my head against the wall because I've already watched this movie twice. I got to watch it a third time. And I didn't understand it the first 2 times. Oh, no, I'm excited to watch it again because I really enjoyed the movie, but I also left the movie with a headache.
Yeah.
So it was like, oh, my God. So for those of you guys who didn't catch that, check it out. Also, last night we had Reverse Polarity. That's the Hi-Fi Vegas show that I do with Robert. And, or Rob, whatever you want to call him. Dude, we talked about that show. We talked about more car audio than we have ever talked about car audio.
Really?
We were also like, man, we need to stop talking about car audio. We're gonna spoil these guys.
Oh wow!
So if you didn't catch that show, play it in the background. Treat it as a podcast.
Yeah.
Have some fun with it. Tomorrow is Saturday, though, which brings us back in-house here with Car Stereo Talk with Dean and Fernando on the YouTubes, on the 5-Star Network. Pretty excited about that. I don't know why. I love doing the Saturday show because it really bookends the week.
It tells you,
because Monday opens the week, Saturday closes the week. So we get you coming and going. We get you set up.
That's how it is, huh? Monday opens the week, Saturday closes the week.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, in our world, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Clearwater nightlife. Dude,
dude,
me, there is no
tomorrow.
show there. We could put up you chasing Sebastian around. Go, okay, guys, I'm gonna ride my bike with no training wheels tonight. Y'all ready for this? All right, here we go.
He's totally a YouTuber, man. He is. He is.
All right, make sure to tune in tomorrow night on the 5-Star Network at 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We'll be taking your questions. I like to call it the question marathon because we just go, baby. We just go and answer your questions. And with that, we're out of here. Thank you so much for spending your Friday morning with us. This has been the news. You guys have a great rest of your day. We'll see you next time.
Bye, guys.